At Clear Inner Focus, we know our job as a coach is to set the stage for you to be able to really learn your authentic answer so that you can be uniquely you. And one of the ways we do that is we let you know what kind of guidelines we want to work within. This will give you a good lead out into how we start our first coaching sessions and how we start our first coaching classes. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to give you some guidelines to make it a really safe space to learn, because whenever there's any kind of challenge or any kind of learning, everybody feels a little bit vulnerable, because there is actually a place where we don't know. Here's something and I don't know what I need to know to learn and grow through this. And so I think of those guidelines kind of like when a child's learning to walk, parents clear the sharp edges so that you can feel really comfortable. And it's really important for me, as we're talking together, that this is about me sharing perspectives and that you're learning your way, you're learning from yourself. Okay, and that's these guidelines help. So guideline number 1 is, during this time, I invite you to practice self-care and self-responsibility. If you'll just take a nice deep breath and check in with yourself and notice, is your energy still out there taking care of other people? So if you would just take another deep breath and give yourself a minute for that break to just kind of let go of all those other things and really let this be a time for you. And if you're hearing things and getting insights here, if you notice yourself saying, oh, but I'd like my worker over here to learn that, just bring it back here and just go, nope, this is just for me. Because caregiving people often hear things and then they start thinking about other people. But when you use this time really just for yourself, you'll get stronger in yourself. So you'll be able to be the person that's there doing things differently with other people. Does that sound make sense? Okay. Another thing about self-care and self-responsibility is, if I'm saying something that feels like your truth, it's going to be like, yeah, I want to go in that direction. And if I'm saying something that's not, you'll get that. And I encourage you to hold this place for yourself. You're the leader of this session. And if something's being said that's not your truth, please speak up and say, here's how it works for me. Okay. So during this time, I invite you to focus on the positive, because what we focus on expands. And human nature is constantly trying to grow. And what often happens is we're positive people, and then all of a sudden something happens and our focus goes way on the negative, and we look really closely at the negative and the things we want to change. And all of the wisdom that we have around it kind of gets lost. And not only that, sometimes when we focus on the challenges often have a lot of emotional energy. And then we take it and we're just holding all of that stress and that frustration and that not knowing, and you can actually hold it tight in your body. So when you focus on the positive first, it kind of lets that challenge move out of your energy field a little bit more, so you can look at it from here. You can connect with your wisdom and the things that you know and be able to address it more powerfully. Does that make sense? Great. So even before we go any further, if you just take a deep breath and think of like one thing that's working in the challenge that we're going to talk about, and just breathe and look at that one. You don't even have to say it out loud, but just think of one thing that's working. Got it? Okay, now see if you can find another. And then one more. And if you can or can't, that's okay. Were you able to find 3? So we got 2 going, and that's great. So thanks for playing that part with me. So if you would just take another deep breath, and during this time, I invite you to adopt a sense of wonder. Like, I wonder. Whatever you notice, like if you're noticing your thoughts racing, I wonder. Like kids do when they're learning. They look at a bug and they stop and they just kind of wonder about things. And so one of the best ways to do that is to just take another second and just think the thought, I wonder, and let yourself feel that. I wonder. You notice what happens inside? Great. Thanks for doing that. Worry has this, and one of the things that you can do is flip worry to wonder, and then it opens you to more wisdom and ability to do things. During this time, I am going to encourage you to honor your innate wisdom. You know that part inside of you that just knows? Like that part inside of you that just said, yes, I'm showing up to this class and I have no idea what it is, but I know it feels right. Okay, so just honor that and invite it to be a part of this time, this conversation. Okay. Wisdom often comes in sessions, and a lot of people, when it comes in, like to use you. Well, when you do this and this, because we care about other people. During this time, I'm going to encourage you to use an I statement. Because when we speak in I statements, it helps the whole energy of that wisdom move through our body. It helps our voice resonate with our biology in that I am statement, and really brings in a lot of power. So if it comes in as a you, I might say, can you try that in an I statement? And then notice the difference on how that feels. Good. Okay. Number 7, open to receive acknowledgement. Okay, my job is to watch and go, wow, bask in your magnificence, and to be the eyes that looks at you and says, I see you and you are a gift. And when I share that, I'm going to encourage you to really say thank you and receive it as a gift it is. It's an ultimate form of win-win. Okay, on that one of them is to celebrate the natural learning process. In coaching, I teach 7 steps to positive change. They're natural steps we go through, and there's all kinds of things human beings can do to thwart each step. But the first step is awareness of a way that you'd like to change, with acceptance and love for yourself right where you are. And sometimes that first step can take a while, because human nature often becomes aware of where they are and doesn't like it and starts going, shoot, I don't want to do it that way. What's going on? And does this whole inside game of being hard on ourselves. But when you become aware of the old way and just kind of bring acceptance to it and a little bit of gentleness and love to it, you can move to the next step. And that is getting clearer on your desire. Okay. And in the first session, I really only focus on the 3 steps, the first, second, and then the 7th one is just giving yourself some practice, patience, and praise every step along the way. And really exercising that thought of, wow, I did something new and different. Good job. And see if your body will actually receive that thought. Do you want to play with it for just a second? Okay. So think about you carving out time and doing whatever it was to show up here, and everything it took for you to be able to be here today. And see if you can just breathe and give yourself a good job, and see if your body wants to receive that good job. What do you know? Say it out loud. Yeah, go ahead. Say it out loud, and then notice what happens in your body. Awesome. Thank you I really want to acknowledge your self-awareness. You really, really are aware of what's going on, and the whole talk of corny and then still trying it on anyhow. It's pretty cool. And your eagerness to jump in. Okay, so today, if this was the best conversation ever, if you could experience something differently as a result of this, what would you love to know or experience differently? What's your intention for this session?